there, not far from Peoria. Eventually it will be on the move, but it's not moving very quickly, and because of that, the threat of flooding continues in this area tonight and tomorrow. Now let's show you the severe weather potential map. Severe storms all the way from western New England back through the plains. I know we've got some red all the way to New York and Boston, but really the big threat there should be sometime after rush hour tomorrow morning. That's the thinking right now. Plenty of time to get those temperatures up back around 90 in New York and Philadelphia. The only watch is from Kansas, from the Storm Prediction Center. Not far away in Kansas, southwest Kansas, till 2 will stick around overnight. We've had more storms developing in Illinois. Look at those, continuing to cause problems. Indianapolis and Cincinnati, more rains certainly in the area, but the big storms right now in between those two cities. As we move into western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, here come the rains in from the northwest. They don't look nearly as severe as they were earlier around Cleveland. And as we extend our view, you can see some showers getting into the lower Hudson Valley. We don't think these will get into New York tonight, but tomorrow, as that front approaches and kind of reactivates, so look out from New York to D.C. and Baltimore. Some of those storms may contain gusty winds. In the meantime, it's a steamer tonight. Let's get a look back on the hot weather today, the records. And we show you the records, but let's look at Sharon. I'd rather look at Sharon. Sharon?
Many of you from the Northeast to the Mid-Atlantic are hoping for a cooler day on Thursday. The Big Apple was baking today with temperatures in the low to mid-90s in the metro area. New Yorkers tried to stay cool on this hot and very humid day. Nothing like water on a hot summer day, getting out there around the sprinkler or a nice cold drink. Philadelphia is also on the list of hot spots. Your temperature in the city of brotherly love soared into the middle 90s. It was also very muggy, but some gusty winds helped you to feel just a little bit cooler. So at least a little bit of a breeze, bringing some relief there. All right, because I advanced it early, you already saw a sneak peek at this. I was thinking that the camera was already on me or something. Washington, D.C. up to 100 degrees. Baltimore at 99 and 96 heading into Atlantic City. So we do have one additional record to report here. Let's go ahead and take a peek at some of the other high temperatures across the nation. Maybe. There it is. And you'll be able to see that it was warm too into western Pennsylvania, warm around Covington, 90 degrees, 86 around Chicago, 87 down into Atlanta, Georgia. So there was definitely a lot of warmth. And as we go back up into the north and east, again, you're going to find still very, very warm, very muggy. What an uncomfortable evening. 77 into Boston, 90 into New York, 82 degrees heading into Philadelphia, and 86 down around Washington, D.C. So again, the areas that warmed into the 90s in some cases still aren't out of the 90s. A very uncomfortable evening, and you can imagine the humidity is still up in those regions as well. A little further west, we're cooling down nicely around Chicago, 76, 71. Some showers have passed through Atlanta. Of course, out into the desert southwest, still dealing with 90s, but that's pretty par for the course this time of the year and this time of the evening. Heat indices into the lower 90s here. Heat indices still quite high, even in New York City. It feels like 94 when you factor in the humidity. And tomorrow, another day to use caution up and down the eastern seaboard, down along the Gulf Coast.
Next, your weekend outlook and the storm update. Right now, your local forecast. Next, your weekend outlook. And at 50 after, the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast. Next, your weekend outlook. And at 50 after, the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast. This is your local forecast. Weather information you can plan on, only on the Weather Channel. and at 50 after the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast.
The temperature 75 degrees. Meanwhile, in New York City, it's still 83. And actually, some of the temperatures across the Northeast are warmer than some of the temperatures in the Southeast this morning, like Atlanta sitting at 70 and 73 for Nashville. So that just goes to show you just how balmy and sticky it really will be today throughout the Northeast. And we can tell that by looking at the dew point. The dew point is a rough measure of the moisture content in the atmosphere. With the dew points in the 60s and the 70s, that is showing us a very uncomfortable, a very sticky air mass that covers much of the eastern half of the country. So again, a very, very uncomfortable weather pattern for most of us.